Hello Pioneers, in the last episode of our MEGAFACTORY build series, we ramped up diamond production with a massive windmill-style particle accelerator tower, securing 240 diamonds per minute. In this episode, we take the next step, turning those diamonds into time crystals. To do this, we need a huge amount of converters, so we design a multi-level tileable factory that embraces their unique dodecahedron shape. Can we make this futuristic design both scalable and efficient? Let's find out. With our 240 diamonds being made in this helical particle accelerator factory, as well as the petroleum coke turning into another 100 diamonds, we have 340 diamonds, and we're going to turn most of that into a time crystal. This looks like a nice place to do it. So let's go figure out how we can build that. We're going to need these converters, and we're going to need 25 of them. So we're going to need some sort of tileable design. Let me put down our blueprint designer, and then we're going to go figure out how we're going to build that. Whether we can even blueprint one of these converters is another question. They're pretty okay to blueprint. So we'll share the input and then we'll do the output. Let's see how many I can fit in here. Probably just 2, but 2 is better than none. Be something like this. Be barely any space in between, but that's okay. So we can do converters like this. Let's put in our mergers and splitters. We'll get mergers going in this way. I feel like it's not centered. I might bring them in a little bit to conserve a little bit of space. At least get them even, right? Like that. Get the belts in. What is happening? Sorry. I've got insane. So, too early in the morning, guys. Too early in the morning. It's meant to be a splitter, not a merger. Like, what the heck's going on? Great start to the episode, guys. Great start. Fantastic start. Alright, I'll wake up after I have my coffee, as I drink my coffee throughout this episode. So there's our mergers in to get our material in, which is going to be the diamond. And then we need to get our material out as well. And we can just conserve some space by putting it this way. Now we're probably going to loop it around, but there's no point joining the belts. So we'll just go around, say this way. That's going to be a merger. And then whatever direction we do that side, we're going to bring it the opposite direction this side. So we just join the belts here and here. And then we'll get a power bar in, but once again, we're just going to do the top part of the power bar because we know we're going to need more than this many of it. Do a nice short 4-meter one. I'm going to get it to the end over here in line with this thing. Get rid of this. Get the power in just onto the top of this bar. Try to get it as straight as possible. Get the power in on this side too. And there's our 4 converters, or 2 converters per side. And we can hopefully tile these somewhere. Let's save that blueprint. Get our converter icon, set the directory, save that blueprint. Now we've got a converter blueprint, fantastic. Let's see how many we can fit in here. Now we need 25, so we can do 2 floors of 12 and just overclock one, I guess, is probably the easiest way to do this. Let's see how much fits here. So say we give 2 tiles of space there, and then the factory starts there, and we want 1 tile of space within it. It'll be like there. Probably easier if I put down my starting blocks. Let's just mark that. So there's our converter. It fits nicely in this factory. We can center it. It'll be helpful if I put my starting blocks in the right spot, but essentially we'd want the factory to start here, and then we can see how many we can fit across here. Perfect fit. So this is where our converters would sit, and then we can hopefully seal off this factory somehow, and we need to build it in a reasonably extensible design. Oh wow, amazing. It fits like a glove basically. So if we have 2 floors of this, it would be perfect. Now let's start designing some stuff and see if we can get a blueprint going. I'm just going to work on 1 corner. Now I have an idea for this factory, and it's going to be something somewhat interesting. I just need a little helper tile here. I don't know if it's going to work out. We'll do 6 tiles out and then we'll do the corner. I want the factory floor to be the same shape as these converters. I have to measure how high this goes. So if we can do it 6 tiles high, I think that would be perfect. That covers the converters. And because the converters are quite pretty, I want to try to get it as glassy as possible. And it's a futuristic building, so we'll try to get it as futuristic as possible as well. But essentially what I want to try to do is, if you're enjoying the video and you want to support DataEngineerPlays, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, feel free to share them in the comment section. We use these double ramps from the base. Now we can use this tile because we've already got the stuff in. We don't need it to be that tight. Maybe. Let's try. Just give me one tile of thing here. Just to help, don't worry. We're not going to keep that tile. I don't know if this is going to work, so bear with me. We've got to experiment, you know? Got to experiment. So we'll get it going out one extra tile here, but that's just fine. And then from here, we do the same thing. Oh, but this one, we can't really shift out that way. So we've got 3 tiles going up, or maybe we can just do it 2 tiles on this side. Is that going to be weird? So basically my wall is going to be a diagonal. I'm going to do 5 tiles out this way, 5 tiles out this way, 5 tiles out this way. And if that's the top of my factory, then essentially we would just want to build it down from some point, right? So let's zoop this out this way. And then let's get that going down from here. It actually meets here after 2. Do we want some more elevation on the factory? Okay, so let's go up 1 more tile. And then we'll get it going like that. Get rid of this. And then we'll flatten it here somehow. And we'll figure out a corner. So this is the corner. We want the same thing going on over here. And once we figure this out, we'll blueprint this because it'll just be 4 identical corners. But basically it will come out like this. Right? And then how do these meet? This is going to be an interesting one. Let's try putting down our corner blueprint. We had a basic corner blueprint. I'm just going to borrow this for a second. So our basic corner would go something like that, right? Except if we wanted to go in, it'd be here. Interesting. Let me extend this out 1 more. Maybe that'll help me because I can't cut the corner any tighter. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut the corner here. This is pretty cool. I actually like this corner like this. Let me just figure this out. So if they meet there like that, let me get rid of some of this extra framing so I can see what's going on. Like we can seal this part up with glass, and then if we can somehow meet this and this, then I think that'd be a pretty cool thing. Is there a diagonal thing I can build out this way to meet this all up? Otherwise, the building corner can just be an X, I guess. We can just seal it up here because there's no triangle stuff we can fit in here. Let me try some stuff and then I'll come and talk about what I end up with. Check this out. Look at this turn. So I put our usual diagonal beaming technique, but instead of doing flat walls, I did these diagonal, oh man, I can't speak today, ramps, the 4-meter double ramps. Let me try to do the same thing on the top end. So I've just put this over here. So if we just flip this, you can see how I built this. I'll do it consistent on both sides. So we did that and then that. So now it does stick out a little bit, right? But does that sticking out bother us? That's the question, isn't it? Like that. Does that not look like a sick window? I don't know. That just looks cool to me. And then we just seal this on the end. Unfortunately, because of this thing, you can't shift the window in one. Otherwise, that would be really cool if you could shift the window in one tile. Give it a little bit of, you know, pizzazz, if you will. Let's get rid of these helpers and see if we've got something cool. And the windows like clip a little bit, but unfortunately there's not going to be much I can do about that. It's going to be a little bit of clipping here. We can probably find somewhere to hide that. But is that not just like a really cool thing? And then we've got to seal the top. Now, in theory, it should meet up perfectly. So if I just flatten this out with foundation, then we should be sweet, right? It'll look like that. Let's just have a look at what that looks like from the inside. That looks perfect from the inside. And on the outside, it's got this little geometry out here, which I think looks pretty damn sick. What do you guys think of that corner? We just came up with this cool corner out of absolutely nowhere. And then where can we cut in to make some lights and stuff? Nowhere. But we can just add some lights somewhere. Maybe like underneath here. Yeah, we can do that in the blueprint. That's fine. We'll figure it out. But what do we think of this corner, guys? And then we need a subfloor, right? So essentially this can just be the subfloor. And then the next level will just come out directly on top of this. And it'll just be a zigzaggy thing. Or we can make another subfloor on top. No, we can't make this the subfloor. So we'll flatten it out with 4-meter tiles. And then on top of here, we can make another subfloor. So essentially what we'd want to do is create a set of walls over here like this. And they can be whatever, like steel walls or whatever. And then we would just put a normal floor up here. And then we got a subfloor. Oh, we can get rid of this. And we can put the subfloor like here. And then what does that look like from the inside? That looks pretty sick. Yeah, I like that concept. And then there's a little bit of a thing here. We can probably, oh, that's where we can shove the whatever these are. We could shove them in along here. Cool. I think that's a plan. We will make a blueprint of this corner and then we will implement that corner. I think that's going to be a sick looking building and it's like the perfect shape to house these constructors. I'm going to build this out and see where we can get from here. So it starts from they meet at a corner and it goes out through tiles. All right, let me see if I can build this blueprint and we'll come back and I'll talk about it when it's done. I think I'm pretty happy with this final design. So it adheres to this exact concept, but I've painted it in, added a few features. So we've got some light strips. We've hid the weird window over here using billboards. And I've done the same thing on the inside. So that's what it looks like from the inside. We've done some painting. We've got the outside bits painted black and then the diamond corner painted white. The black and white gives it a pretty cool looking little feature wall over here, I guess. Gives it a pretty cool geometry, I think. I've done the window. I figured out how to do the window offset. I basically just built it from the ground offset into, and then we just need multiple layers of windows to get that offset inside a little bit to give that geometry rather than just having it flush. But that's pretty much it. So we'll call this corner converter and then we will start utilizing that and see how that actually looks in the build. Get that saved and let's give it a go. I'm just going to leave that corner there as a testing one and then we're going to put the corner over here. Oh, I just realized I made the corner 6, but do I want it to be 6? Let's test it out and find out. So there's this corner converter over here and I mean, we can get into blueprint mode, or it's doing that thing where it hates the blueprints over here. I think that's it. That is the correct place to snap the corner. Now, is that too much? Or did I start this from the wrong spot? I feel like we're going to get a little overlap over here. Because that's past the midway point. So there's a 1 tile overlap, is it? I have to delete this corner to see. Let me just quickly delete this corner. I think we're done with the manual build portion of this. So let me try to get another corner in and then we'll see what that looks like. So if we stack them directly on top of each other, then no, it is that. That is correct, isn't it? 1 tile out from each corner. That just means my converters are in the wrong spot, is it? Well, that makes it easy because this corner and this corner stack perfectly together. Let's see what that building looks like. I mean, it's coming out close to the road a little bit, but not really because the underneath is still 2 tiles, which is what we want. We'll call this outside slope a little bit. It's something like a decorative element, basically. So essentially what we're saying is that this is no longer centered. But that's fine, we can just move that. Now, whether that still fits in here is another question because we left 2 tiles of space. So let me just put in the machines then. Oh my god, this is going to be a tight fit, isn't it? We can flatten out the other wall if we wanted to. That is the thing. Okay. So we put the converter as close to this wall as possible. It should be about there. And we center it against one of these, which is about there. It gives us more room on the left and the right as well. And then we'll just chuck that in. And then we'll have 3 of these converters. And that will be our 6. And they tile in perfectly with one another. And they're all lined up. Now, can I get another one of these walls on this side? And then we'll build our filler wall. It'll be 1 tile of space like this out from this wall. And then 1 tile out from this wall. So like here, I think. Make sure that's lined up. Yep, that's flush against that. That's flush against that right on the center point. That looks about right. These 2 walls are a little bit close. But hey, that's a little trade-off that we're going to have for such a cool looking building or blueprint. And that's it. That's our corners in. And then how many tiles of space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exactly enough for a filler wall. Perfect. So I'll modify this blueprint and then we'll make this into a filler wall. It shouldn't be too hard to do because I'm just going to take this. Now, should we make the filler wall white? Would that be cool? It's like black and white, black and white. I don't know. We'll see. All right, I'm going to modify this blueprint to get a filler wall in and then we'll come back and use it when it's done. So here's our blueprint for the filler wall. I've decided to go with a white strip in the middle. I don't know if it's going to look nice, but there's only one way to find out, which is to save the blueprint and actually use it. All right, we'll save that blueprint and we will give it a go. If I put it in blueprint mode, would it just snap to this? Absolutely not. So we just have to manually shove it in there like that. Make sure that's all aligned. Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Does this need to billboard out as well? Nah, too much. What do we think of that building? A little bit of black, a little bit of white. Cool, interesting shape. Easy to build. Fits all my criteria. Shove the last filler wall in here and complete off the first level. Now the challenge of this is going to be building the second level of this because they don't really snap on top of one another. But I think the first level looks a little bit okay, right? That looks pretty cool. There's not much glass, unfortunately. It's all sealed up, but it's a futuristic looking shape, so I kind of like it. What do we think of that? I think that looks pretty cool. I think we'll leave it at that. Try to put if I put it in blueprint mode, will it just do it? If it just does it in blueprint mode, that would just be fantastic. Oh my god, it just does it. Not only is it sick looking, it's super easy to build. Check that out. We just put it in blueprint mode, and then we get our 4 corners in. What is this magic? I think I must be just intuitively getting better at making these designs, because I don't want to spend 40 hours doing manual work. It just fits in perfectly. Amazing. Check that out, guys. Check that out. We've got our second room. Ah, we forgot to carve entranceways into this factory. How would you even enter this factory? It makes no sense. Well, we don't want to enter from the train station. We want to enter from the front, which would be, say, either this road or this road. So we'll guess we'll carve out an entranceway here. There's no road here, so it doesn't make any sense. But essentially, this would be the entranceway then. Oh, this is going to be hard to frame, though. Ooh. Okay, that's going to be a challenge in itself to design an entranceway. Let's have a look at what we can do. So we'd like it to have some sort of proper foundation, maybe. Like, coming out here. Maybe like that. That's kind of doorway-ish. Doorway adjacent. Is that welcoming? Does that look pretty welcoming to you guys? Maybe we need like some sort of pillar here. Now, if we get rid of these things, then we're left with this. Maybe we can do something similar over here. And flatten it out a little bit. That's looking doorway adjacent to me. Get a beam in there. And then that's kind of looking like an entryway. Maybe we should paint it the right color, which is white, I guess, because it's in that midsection. It's a bit of a weird entryway, but I think it looks fine. And we don't need to fill that part in. I feel like we can do something here. We need like a little lip. Probably do like a half foundation. Like that. Better or worse? Something about it. I don't know. Just doesn't look the best. What if we just made it black? Black looks a little bit better as an entranceway. And we can leave the top part white. That's fine. But what about this second level? We need to do something similar as well. I suppose the second level doesn't need a proper entranceway, right? We can just cut open this and then that will just be the entranceway. The first level, then we can decorate a little bit more uniquely. What if we put some stairways to denote that this is indeed an entranceway? And then maybe some railings along here. That's looking a lot more entrancey to me. And then the second level can just be an opening we fly through. Might need to cover this Z fighting though. So we can do something like this. And how does that look? Get some beam connectors in. Do the same thing on the bottom. Get our beam connectors in. And yeah, that's kind of looking like an entranceway, isn't it? What do we think of that? Probably need some beam connectors here as well. Not get too lazy. Make our building the little details that matter, you know? It's the little details. There we go. We've got entranceways into the factory. More importantly, let's get the buildings in. The machines, I'm sorry. Converter. Oops, skip past it. Believe that's how we build it. Wait. Got it completely rotated incorrectly. That's the center point. And the starting point is right on here. Is there a direction to this? I hope I built the other one in the right direction. Because this is directional. Alright, we can rebuild this if we need to. That's looking correct to me. There we go. 2 floors, 12 things each. We'll have to add some lighting and stuff, which we'll do at the very end. But we're pretty much there. We just got to link all the belts, and now we just need to get the input in. This factory is looking very interesting. What do we think of it? Let's have a look at it from a distance now that there's 2 floors of this factory. It's looking very, very interesting. Definitely different from all of our other stuff. We might need to do something about this roof because, well, we don't want to do too much about it, but at least we might just paint it black or something like that and give it a little bit of skirting. But I think once the roof is done, it's going to look pretty sick. All right, let's start doing the inputs. So we need to set the recipe. We're going to be making time crystals. Gonna paste all that in. Now we got to worry about the input. So let's join these belts. They're gonna merge this way, which is probably a terrible way for them to go, because then they're gonna be out here. But we'll probably take them into the floor or something. There's no real place for me to put a sink or anything. That's the problem. That's all right. We can sink it in the floor, like one of our plans was always to do that. There's not really any space for a parking lot anywhere, is there? Unless I bring it all out here and then just do the time crystal sinking out here and just borrow some space over here. That's something we can do probably. We have a lot of spare room over here. So that'll be the input for the time crystals. Now we need to hook up the power between these sets of blueprints. And then we'll get power into the machine somehow. Probably from this building next door is the best bet. Let's have a look at this building that's making the aluminum sheets, and we can just bring the power out somewhere. So if we take the power from here up, it would go maybe like here. And then that can go into the wall over there. And replace this with a double. Get that through. Go across out here, and there should be the double over here, which we can just bring across in line somewhere. It will be in the center, and then it will probably just go straight here. I think it should align like that, or maybe one down, doesn't really matter. Then we'll bring that into the power beam over here somewhere. As straight as that goes, probably around here. And then we'll just bring that straight across there. And that should be fine. Wires are a little bit messy. I feel like that's my weakness, is doing clean wires. But more importantly, all of these machines are now yellow, so they're just waiting for input. Now we need to bring this power upstairs, so let's do that. Do it in exactly the same spot, which is along this line. And we'll get that into here. Join the power along here. Fantastic. We'll set those recipes on the second floor as well. Just paste them all in. Easy peasy. Now we need to join the first floor and the second floor, and that's why we built a subfloor. Because the material is going to come in here. This is the input, right? Yeah. So the material is going to come in from here, and then it's going to go up here. And that's a problem because it's going to go through this power bar. How can I not get it to go through this power bar? Okay, and just bring it out a little bit. We'll bring the power bar all the way out here. That way it looks like it's connected to something, and it's not just hanging in the middle of the floor. Then we'll bring this around, and then we should be able to bring it up into the ceiling. So it goes there. Shift that to the right spot. and into the ceiling you go. So that's the input coming in through here into the ceiling, and then we can go deal with it in the ceiling. So this one's going to be a little bit easier in that we can just bring it out here. That is the input, right? Like that. And then we can go into the subfloor and sort that out. So there's the input. There's this thing. That's the starting point. Put the foundation back in, and we'll just run a belt across using the subfloor. Exactly why we have subfloors. There we go. Easy peasy. Let's get out of the wall. Alright, that's the input sorted. Let's get the actual input in now. We need 300 time crystals. So we kind of need to merge these and these, but we got to do it in a clever way because this one is linked to this. We need to make sure it's constantly sunk. At the moment, we're just purely sinking it. So we need to get a smart splitter. We're not going to store these time crystals anywhere. I don't think we're not going to store these diamonds anywhere. I don't think you need diamond as a building material. So what we're just going to do is we're going to put a smart splitter here. And then one of the inputs of the smart splitter is just going to go into there. And that's going to be the overflow. And then we can bring that down into the subfloor. Doesn't seem to like that. That should work. Now we've got our 100 diamonds here. And similarly over here, we're just putting it straight into here. But I suppose we can sink it. But these are particle accelerators. So if they don't need to be running all the time, we probably won't get them to run all the time. So we don't actually need to sink this. We were just testing the sink to make sure it works. So instead, what we really want to do is just get this into the subfloor. Like there. And we're just going to bring this straight down and into the subfloor. Maybe one across. Now, there's no priority merging. I'd like to use up that one first, then that one, but I suppose it doesn't really matter. Let's go into the subfloor and sort that out. I just need an entrance to the subfloor somewhere so I don't have to keep running around. So here's our first diamond belt. Let's get some more subfloor going. We'll bring the diamond belt down first. Wait, let's figure out where we need to take it first, and then we can figure out the best path. So here's the input, like that. Might as well finish off this pillar while I'm here. Just barely fits, nice. Nice and snug. Now let's bring that over. Probably this way first. So get a belt going that way, and that almost lines up to this. So this one's going to go along the floor, I guess. And then we'll go this way, same as our old patterns. And diamonds should be coming out of here. And then into here. Which we will get. Is it on this line perfectly? Yeah, it should be. Like that. So there's some diamonds going into there to start our time crystal process. And now we need to bring this one over here. So we'll run a belt onto the floor over here. And then we'll just run it across here. And then we'll run it along here somewhere. We need to get it back into some sort of merger. So when this comes out, it needs to merge. Like this. Then it connects. Then we connect this into the merger. And we're going to have to go through the ceiling for this. Because it goes this way. So we'll run the merger out this way. Like such. And then we can figure out where to turn this belt. 1, 2. And then up to the ceiling you go, so we don't have any crisscrossies later. Doing pretty well with subfloor belting. It's all looking pretty good. Now nothing's coming out of here, so let me go double check what's going on over here. It's all going into the overflow. Center output is any. So this is not connected for some reason. That's what I was afraid of. The positioning of it's doing that positioning thing again. So I'm just gonna have to like pretend there's a hole there, and then just like manually connect the lift. Something to do with particle accelerators doesn't line up with the floor holes perfectly. It's really weird. See how it's like a little bit off. But we should be able to connect that. It doesn't like this. We have to like connect that with a janky belt. But as long as it works, that's the important thing. So that'll take all of that stuff and hopefully saturate all our time crystals. So let's go right in here. Output. We're going to just call this 240 plus 100. And then time crystal, we're using up 300. So available diamonds should be 40 in theory. We need to overclock one of these machines. So it doesn't matter which one because it manifolds here. So either this one we need to overclock because we have 24 machines and we need 25. So I'll overclock that one and that one to 50%. That'll be the equivalent of one more machine. And now everything should be producing time crystals slowly, eventually when they saturate. It's going to take a while for them to saturate, but that's okay because we got to do the output next. Look at those time crystals. Beautiful, beautiful time crystals. So we get them to go all across this way and then probably around this side somehow without intercepting any belt. Get it to some sort of center point. How does this height play with this height? Just over the bar. Nice. Flat, right? Yup. And then into here you go. Manifold all those time crystals out. And we got to go upstairs and do the same thing. And this will be the final output for the time crystals, which we can probably store and sync. Or do we want to store them? I think we're turning all of these into stuff, so we don't need to store them. But we do need to bring the second one's belt over, because eventually it'll come up here. I haven't manifolded this yet, so let me fix the input first. And that's the end of the input. Might as well fix this thing while I'm here. And then we'll do the output. Same thing, except is it the same thing or do we want to reverse it? Because the start of the output is one of these. That's the final output. So in theory, we should be putting a thing here for the output. There we go. Oh, it's doing the thing again. Okay, so these things don't line up to anything as well. That's freaking annoying. All right, I'll just manually put the thing through the ceiling then, and we'll just have a pretend hole. I don't know why they've made these new machines not line up to anything. It's super annoying. But here's the input, and then we'll have to get that out of the floor. And it'll be exactly here, which is not good. So where do we want the manifold? Sorry, it's out here, right? So all the output is going to join this way and around here again. You can do this one centered this time. Not like that. 2 up, gets it straight, goes around. That all links up. It's working fine. Has any of these started yet? Just to confirm I'm getting diamonds up here. Yep, it has started. And that is the final output, which is going to go through the floor. But again, floor holes don't work here, do they? It's just like offset from the floor hole. So it's just going to go through the floor then. And then it's going to come out somewhere here. I guess I'll turn it the other way. Bit annoying to build, but let me sort it out. So we'll go through the floor. We'll turn it this way so it doesn't intercept with this belt. And then we'll turn that one that way as well. So we'll go down here and we'll grab this. And we'll bring it up here to the right spot. And then we'll just turn it this way. It's going to pretend to go through this floor hole, but it doesn't actually. And then we should just be able to belt in like that. Now we're done with the subfloor. Let's fill in the gaps. And in theory, all those time crystals should eventually come out and they should all saturate and we should have a bunch of time crystals, 150 to be precise. Great, we are pretty much done. That was a reasonably quick build this time. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get the bells and whistles in. For example, we probably need some sort of lighting here. Let's get one central lighting going. Right in the middle. So hard to see where the middle is on these tiles. And then flush against the edge, I guess. And the power can come from that direction. That's fine. Line that up. And does that intercept with this thing? Nope. So then we can just get a power going. Just from here straight into there. Connect these two. And boom. We have light. Fantastic. Let's do the same thing on the upstairs. Trying to center this somewhere and then bring it out where we want it. Just right here. One more. Get that in here. And then get another one joint to this right there. Let's light up the power. Or power up the lights, I should say. And then connect them. And boom. We have light. We have everything. Now we just need our signage. That tells us how many time crystals we're producing. And where would that signage go? I don't even have a wall that I can put this sign on. We can put it sideways like this. Oh, of course it's upside down. Play the sign game again, trying to get everything the right direction. So this is time crystal. Get that icon in. Fantastic. And we'll get those numbers in. So we're making 150 time crystal. Done. Nice and easy. Was that nice and easy? We do need to get the output somewhere. So our final output for the time crystals is here, which is nice and convenient for us. And it probably needs to go into some sort of smart splitter and go. We'll take it across the road over here and we'll sync them, I guess. Actually, I don't need to sync them. I think the 150 time crystals, we're going to use all of them up to make the dark photonic matter. Or the dark matter residue. So yeah. Oh, sorry. Dark matter crystals is what we're making out of this. I keep forgetting. But yes, I think we are done with this building. Everything went really smoothly this episode, so it might be a little bit shorter than you're used to, but that's a good thing because it means I didn't run into any issues. But yes, here is our lovely new building. It looks pretty cool. Looking a little bit cramped against these buildings, but I can't really help that, fortunately. But I like it. It fits the theme of these converters because the converters are a similar shape to this building. And yeah, sorry, we were meant to paint the roof to make it not look so terrible. But once we've done that, I think we're done. It's just annoying because if I ever have to add a level to this, I'm going to have to unpaint this roof. The roof is black. It doesn't need any skirting because it kind of is skirting itself. Maybe we'll just get a nice little white strip in the middle to break it up a little bit. This little black and white converter building. That looks pretty cool. What do we think of that? Maybe we need to get rid of this and then turn these into 4-meter foundations. Do the same thing on the other side. I think that looks pretty cool. Excellent. We are done. All right. So next episode, we're going to have to start making those dark matter crystals. I have no idea where I'm going to be doing that. We're probably going to need to establish some sort of tunnel system that goes to that side. And if we want to fit the dark matter crystal along here, we're going to have to do some really fancy factory work. But we will see what we do, and then we will go from there. We'll figure it out. We'll somehow squeeze it all into the back over here somehow. Remember, our roads also don't need to be perfectly lined up. So if we do need to turn the road out, then so be it. We'll turn the road out. So we won't limit ourselves, but that will be a problem for future Alan and next episode. So if you don't want to miss out on that, don't forget to leave a like and sub, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.